In the next 5 minutes, I am going to be showing you how you can brew an amazing cup of coffee using a French press. This is the cheapest and the easiest way that you can brew an amazing cup of coffee at home or in a coffee shop. It's not very complicated, it's beginner friendly. Even a person with no experience can brew an amazing cup of coffee using this French press. It has basically 3 parts. You have the coffee jug, you have the plunge, and the mesh filter. You only need to add coffee grinds in the jug, add hot water, add the plunge, and then end up having your delicious coffee at the top. Transfer it in the cup and voila, you have your coffee. But as simple as this might look, 90% of coffee lovers have failed to brew an amazing cup of coffee using a French press. Because some people are using old pre-grinded coffee beans which have lost all the flavors and aroma. This is going to result into a final cup of coffee which has no taste. And also some people use a wrong water to coffee brew ratio, and this is what results into that sour, bitter, or a final cup of coffee which has no taste. But for you to fix all these challenges, let me share with you my step-by-step guide on how you can brew a good French press like a professional barista. Because at our coffee shop, we have a French press on our coffee menu and many customers love our French press. So let me share with you how I make my French press so that you can be able to fix all the common mistakes that you might be making with your French press that is resulting into that bad tasting cup of coffee. First, you're going to need to have a French press itself. This is a 1 cup French press, but there are different sizes of French press that you can choose from depending on the amount of coffee that you're making. After having our French press, the next key thing is the type of water that we're going to need to brew our French press. Not every type of water can brew a good cup of coffee. So for you to achieve the best taste in your French press, use filtered water, which is ideal for brewing your coffee. After having our filtered water, we're going to be boiling our water on a 92-degree temperature. This is because I'm going to be using a medium roasted coffee, but if you're using a light roasted coffee, you can increase on this temperature and use a 96 or a 97. And if you don't have this kettle which can control the temperature, use a thermometer so that you can have the right temperature for brewing your cup of coffee. If you use a wrong temperature, this will affect your final cup of coffee. After boiling our water, then we're going to be preparing our coffee beans. If you want to have the consistency in your brewing coffee, you need a weighing scale. This is what enables baristas to brew a perfect cup of coffee each and every time. So the first common mistakes I see most of the coffee lovers make when brewing their French press is they use pre-grounded coffee. For you to achieve the best flavors like the French press that you can have in a coffee shop, use freshly roasted coffee. If you use pre-grounded old coffee beans, you won't have any good flavor or taste in your coffee. So we're going to weigh our 20 grams of coffee. Then we're going to be grinding it on a medium coarse grind size. This is how your particles should look for the French press. They should be slightly coarser than the one of the V60 and the Chemex, because for the French press, it has a wire mesh. So the wire mesh needs a slightly coarser particle so that the particles don't go through the mesh and come up. So this is one of the key things why we use a coarse grind size. After grinding our coffee, we're going to be pouring it in the French press. We're going to now set our timer. You start your timer and you pour in your water at the same time. For the pours, we're going to be pouring 2 times. We're going to pour the first one, which is the brewing time, and we're going to stir. The second time, we're just going to pour in the remaining water and we're going to wait until the final brew time. Start the timer, pour 50 ml of water into the coffee. Wait until 20 seconds. Stir the coffee evenly for 10 seconds to make 30 seconds. If you overstir your coffee, this is one of the things that bring bitterness into your final cup of coffee. So add in all the remaining water at once, then we're going to be waiting until 3 minutes. After adding in all our water, don't stir the coffee because our aim now is to let the coffee grinds go at the bottom of the French press. So we're going to be waiting for these coffee grinds to drop until 3 minutes. At 3 minutes, we're going to be covering our French press so that we don't continue losing our temperature, because each and every time our vapor is going, the temperature is dropping slightly faster. By covering it with a plunge, don't press before 4 minutes. So we just put our plunge and wait until 4 minutes. At 4 minutes, then we're going to press down in a slow controlled motion until you reach the end. Make sure not to press it very fast, because if you press it very fast, the force is going to stir up the coffee grinds and they are going to come on top. After pressing until you reach the end, it's now time to transfer our coffee into our cup and start enjoying it. This is my recipe that I use in a coffee shop and also at home for making a French press. If you have a different brew ratio than this, or a recipe how you make a French press, make sure to link it in the comment section below so that some people can try it out, because as you know, different people enjoy coffee different ways. Most people can try it out and choose which one is best for them. And if you're someone who's interested in brewing better coffee, I would recommend for you to watch this video next, because it's a guide on how you can brew an amazing V60. V60 is also an amazing coffee brew method that you should know how to brew as a barista.